All right, welcome to the explainer. Let's just jump right into this because today we are talking directly to you. I'm talking to the hardworking, full-time gig drivers out there absolutely grinding. You're putting miles on your car, you're missing dinner at home, and yet somehow you just feel stuck, right? You're hitting this invisible earning ceiling every single shift, no matter how hard you push the pedal. You put in the time, you deal with the awful traffic, but at the end of the day, the payout just doesn't match the sweat equity you're putting in. Well, if that sounds like your daily reality, you are exactly who we put this explainer together for. We're going to break down the actual data and the brutal truths from our source material today, which is titled The Strategic Driver Breaking the $100 Barrier. So I really want you to ask yourself this right now and just let it sink in. Are you working 8 hours and still not hitting $150? It's kind of a painful question, isn't it? It is incredibly frustrating to treat your gig driving like a full-time, highly demanding job, blocking out an entire 8-hour day, only to open your earnings tab and see a number that barely covers your gas, the wear and tear on your car, and your time. It literally feels like you're running on a treadmill. You are doing the work for sure, but the financial needle just refuses to move past a certain point. And well, here's where we have to get just a little bit blunt. As our source material states so incredibly clearly, it's not the app, and it's not your market. The harsh truth that we have to confront today is simply this. It is your system. Look, most drivers are out there working incredibly hard, but hard work without a real strategy in this specific business model, that leads straight to low earnings. The apps aren't conspiring against you, and your city isn't magically empty of paying customers. The barrier keeping you under that threshold is strictly the way you are operating within the gig economy environment.
Okay, let's dive into section 1, the big myth.
So this concept completely tears down that traditional employment mindset most of us have. We were all basically raised with a simple equation, right? Work more equals earn more. And it sounds right. In a standard hourly wage job, it is right. You clock in for 8 hours, you get paid for 8 hours. But in gig work, clinging to this belief is a massive, massive mistake. The reality is that not all hours pay the same. In fact, they are wildly different. Treating your gig app like a time clock at a factory is exactly what is artificially suppressing your income. Because slow hours drag your average down. Think about it like this. Say you make a fantastic $30 an hour during the lunch rush, which is great, but then you decide to just stay logged in and drive around aimlessly from 2 p.m. to 4:30 p.m. when demand is totally dead. You might only make $5 an hour during that stretch. When you average out your whole day, that dead time has completely cannibalized your profitable hours. You burned gas, you burned energy, and you actively lowered your own hourly rate just to stay busy. Sheer effort absolutely does not equal money when timing is literally everything. Moving right along to section 2, the real problems. If you are stuck making under $100 a day, you are almost certainly falling victim to 3 fatal bottlenecks: bad orders, wrong hours, and bad positioning. These are the specific mechanical mistakes you're probably making every single time you turn on your app. It's not bad luck, guys. It is these 3 operational flaws choking your profitability. Fix these, and according to the source material, the whole game changes. Let's look exactly at what these first 2 look like in the real world. Bad orders? That means you're accepting low-value requests. You're taking that $3 coffee run going 5 miles across town just because your screen pinged and you felt obligated to keep moving. You are trading valuable time for pennies. Wrong hours? That means you're working outside peak demand. You're out there grinding through the mid-morning lull or those late-night dead zones, just hoping for a miracle order that frankly isn't coming, instead of capitalizing intensely on the actual rush hours. And then we have the third bottleneck, bad positioning. This simply means you are reacting instead of planning. You finish a drop-off in a super quiet residential neighborhood, and you just sit there, waiting for the app to tell you what to do next. Or worse, you chase a hotspot that pops up on the map, only to arrive exactly when the rush ends. Merely waiting around and letting an algorithm dictate your geography is a guaranteed one-way ticket to low pay. You're at the mercy of the system instead of commanding it. Which brings us to section 3, what winning drivers do. Just compare the $80 a day driver to the $180 a day driver for a second. The $80 driver is sweating, they're constantly reacting, they're taking garbage, low-value orders just to keep moving, and they're working through those dead hours. They are putting in maximum effort for a minimum return. But the $180 a day driver, they're calm, they're planning ahead, they aggressively decline those garbage orders, and they only work peak windows. Same city, same app. Wildly different outcome. Thinking in terms of strategy rather than just blind effort literally doubles your payout. So let's break down those winning steps logically so you can actually implement them today. Step 1. Work peak windows.
You absolutely must align your shifts with when the market is desperate for drivers, not just when you happen to have some free time. Step 2. Decline aggressively. Honestly, this is huge. Actually, scratch that. It's absolutely crucial. Your acceptance rate does not pay your rent. Every time you accept a bad order, you are actively locking yourself out of receiving a high-paying order for the next 30 to 40 minutes. You have to say no to make money. Step 3. Stay in strong zones. Know where the high-volume, high-value restaurants and customers are and proactively navigate right back to them after every single drop-off. And that brings us right back to this number, $100. That totally frustrating, invisible barrier that so many of you just keep hitting, day in and day out. It feels like a solid brick wall, but as we've just mapped out, it's really just a lack of tactical execution. It is entirely breakable once you stop working like an employee and start operating like an independent strategist.
Section 4. Eliminate the earnings bottleneck. So, what exactly are you going to do on your next shift? Well, if you want to fix this fast, our source material has provided exactly what you need. You need to download the free guide, 5 Mistakes That Keep Gig Drivers Under $100 a Day. This guide targets these specific bottlenecks we just talked about. It shows you exactly what is holding you back in your specific market, and way more importantly, how to correct it immediately. Look, I highly encourage you to stop driving blind out there. Make a change right now. Go to the description, click the link, and download this free guide. It is the tactical blueprint you've been missing this whole time. I want to leave you with this final, incredibly powerful promise straight from the source text. Read it once, and your whole approach changes. Really think about that. Are you going to keep banging your head against the wall, taking $3 orders, and wondering why you're exhausted and broke at the end of the day? Or are you going to change your system, completely eliminate those bottlenecks, and finally command the income you actually deserve out there on the road? The choice is literally in your hands. Click the link in the description, get the free guide, and drive safe out there.